for today's webinar. Yeah, is it visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Dr. Amit Patil. I'm representing School of Management. Brief introduction about me is I'm having 18 years of rich experience of industry and academics. I did my Bachelor of Engineering, then Masters in MBA, and completed PhD in Management. Today's topic for webinar is strategies for effective communication. This webinar is basically for the students, those who are attending this webinar, and sooner or later they are going to face the interview and delivering the presentation. In this webinar, I would like to focus on the various interview skills, the various presentation skills, the do's and don'ts in effective communication, as well as the social etiquettes. I would like to ask a very simple question to the students, like what skills do you need to get placed in the corporate? Can anybody tell me? You can unmute your mic and speak. What skills you need to get placed in the corporate?
Leadership.
Leadership skill, very good. Any other skills that you need to get placed in corporate or to get a job in the corporate world? Is anybody from audience?
Communication skills.
Team management, yes, absolutely right. And
Communication skills.
communication skills. Yes, today's webinar focus is on more on communication skills. So these are some skill sets which are required by the corporate. They are looking these skill sets while selecting a candidate for an interview and to select an employee in the organization. The very first skill is knowledge. It includes your subject knowledge, your domain knowledge, your specialization knowledge, as well as your general knowledge. Communication skills we'll talk in details in this webinar. Leadership skills, problem solving ability, adaptability, time management, teamwork, critical thinking, decision making ability, and creativity. So these are the skill sets which are more required to get select in the corporate company and in the corporate world. Now, I would like to focus on effective communication. Communication is very important as far as if you are going for an interview and if you are a public speaker. So this webinar, I will focus on public speaking as well as while going for an interview, what are the do's and don'ts, and while sitting for the interviews, what are the different types of communication and what are the different tricks that you need to adopt for select in that company. Effective communication. Effective communication, I'll just read out the definition of effective communication, is the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, opinions, knowledge, and data so that the message is received and understood with the clarity. The basic intention of effective communication is to satisfy both sender and receiver. In the communication, there are two parties involved, the sender and receiver. Effective communication is the communication where both the parties get satisfied. It will be effective communication if the sender is sending the message in a proper way and receiver is receiving the message clearly. The agenda of this webinar is to gain the confidence to the students, to focus on verbal and non-verbal type of communication, and I would like to focus on few social etiquettes as well. Again, I would like to ask one question to the audience, like how many of us scared to speak in public? The answer is majority of us. Even I would like to share one of my experience. When I visited 10 years back, Annamalai University, which was located in Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu. I met with the principal of College of Agriculture. He insisted me to speak on a topic, career opportunities in agriculture. I said, yes, I'll speak on this topic. When I enter in the auditorium, Believe me, there are 1,000 number of students sitting and they are eager to listen to me on the topic of career opportunities in agriculture. So I was scared. आपने वो माउंटेन ड्यू का एड देखा होगा, डर सबको लगता है, गला सबका सूखता है. So even at that time I was scared because of some reasons. The reasons are, you don't know the content. Majority of the times, if you are standing in front of the audience to speak on a particular topic, you don't know the content. And the most important is, you are most worried about the audience reaction. आपको डर रहता है कि audience का reaction क्या रहेगा, वो react क्या करेगी. So these are some reasons. We will see the reasons of the fear to stand in front of audience for public speaking and even to appear for an interview, such as my mind will go blank. अगर इंटरव्यूअर मुझे कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है और उसका आंसर मुझे नहीं आ रहा है, तो मैं पूरा ब्लैंक हो जाऊंगा. दिस इज द फियर नंबर 1. पीपल विल थिंक दैट आई एम स्टूपिड. दिस इज ऑल्सो ए पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ फियर, दैट हम अगर कोई प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं और अगर वो इंटरेस्ट एरिया अगर ऑडियंस का नहीं रहेगा, तो पीपल विल डेफिनेटली थिंक दैट दिस इज द स्टूपिड पर्सन स्टैंडिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ द ऑडियंस एंड टॉकिंग ए नॉन सेंसिबल थिंग्स. Fear number 3 is, I'll be so nervous, I will start shake, shudder, stammer or otherwise be unintelligible. वो होता है, सबके साथ होता है. अगर पब्लिक स्पीकिंग के लिए ऑडियंस के सामने अगर हम खड़े रहते हैं, तो मेनी टाइम्स इट हैपेंस दैट शेकी हैंड्स, देन डर लगता है कि मैं प्रेजेंटेशन दे पाऊंगा कि नहीं दे पाऊंगा. अगर मेरा पहला इंटरव्यू स्पेसिफिकली फॉर द फ्रेशर्स, तो इंटरव्यू का परफॉर्मेंस मेरा अच्छा रहेगा या नहीं रहेगा. फोर्थ फियर इज, आई विल मेक द मिस्टेक. सबको एक डर रहता है कि मैं कहीं गलती ना कर जाऊं. इंटरव्यू में होगा या पब्लिक स्पीकिंग में, गलती इज वेरी कॉमन. फियर नंबर 5 इज, इंस्टेड ऑफ अपलॉडिंग द ऑडियंस विल रिस्पॉन्ड विद एंगर एंड रिडिकुल. ऐसा बहुत टाइम होता है कि हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि ऑडियंस ने हमें अपलॉड करना चाहिए, तो उसका कंप्लीटली अपोजिट होता है. लोग एंगर के साथ आपको देखते हैं और पीपल गेट बोर्ड विद द कंटेंट ऑफ योर प्रेजेंटेशन. सो हाउ टू बी फियरलेस. डर के आगे जीत है, तो जीत कैसे हासिल कर सकते हैं. There are few important tips to speak confidently at the time of public speaking as well as at the time of delivering interview performance. Talk to the members in the audience. If you are having a member of 100 people in the audience, try to interact with them positively. Make them involved in your discussion so that they will feel interest in your content and they will start responding to your content. Don't tell people you are nervous. Many times it happens that when the freshers is appearing for the interview, if he or she sit in front of the interview panel, and after one or two answers or one or two questions, the student or the candidate tell that, sir, I'm nervous because this is my first interview. Believe me, don't ever tell the people that you are nervous at the time of public speaking or at the time of interview. It gives negative impression to your image and it shows less confidence for that particular interview and public speaking. रिकॉर्ड योरसेल्फ. पहले ऐसा बोला जाता था, हमारे इंग्लिश के जो टीचर रहते थे वो बोलते थे कि आईने के सामने खड़े होके आप बात करो, तो यू विल रियलाइज योर मिस्टेक्स एंड यू विल ओवरकम योर मिस्टेक्स बाय स्टैंडिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ द मिरर एंड स्पीकिंग ऑन ए पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक. बट नाउडेज all the students and even the people are more smartphone savvy. Everybody is carrying the smartphone. So if you have smartphone, record yourself. Start recording your communication and record and record 10 times, 20 times, 30 times and see the recording. There is also a procedure to see the recording. First see the visuals, then see the audio and try to analyze whatever mistakes you have done in the previous recording. And if you realize this mistake, definitely I'm sure that you will overcome these mistakes in the next presentation or in the next interview. Practice as much as possible. It is a favorite saying that practice makes man perfect, even practice makes woman perfect. So practice, practice, and practice is the only success mantra. So you have to practice as much as possible. आप अगर इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेटर बनना चाहते हो, आपको अगर इंटरव्यू में परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा देना है, आपको अगर कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में सिलेक्ट होना है, तो यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस रेगुलरली. आपको सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन देना आना चाहिए. आपको जो क्वेश्चन के आंसर्स दे रहे हो उसमें आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल दिखना चाहिए. टू गेन दैट कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस एज मच एज पॉसिबल. Daily practice is most required to get success and to enter in the corporate world. Speaking confidently, be you. Most of the time students follow a person who is good communicator. तो खुद को भूल के वो दूसरे को फॉलो करना स्टार्ट कर देते। यू आर नॉट ए रोबोट बॉस, यू नीड टू बिलीव इन योरसेल्फ। आप अगर खुद को बिलीव करोगे, खुद को कॉन्फिडेंट रखोगे, यू कैन बी वेरी गुड इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेटर। गेट फीडबैक फ्रॉम द रियल पीपल। आप अगर रूम में रह रहे हो, आप अगर सोसाइटी में रह रहे हो, तो शो द रिकॉर्डिंग टू द पीपल दोज हु आर गिविंग द रियल फीडबैक। अगर गुड फीडबैक आता है, इट मींस दैट यू आर एट द राइट डायरेक्शन एंड यू विल फील मोटिवेटेड। अगर बैड फीडबैक आता है, इट मींस दैट देयर इज अ स्कोप फॉर इंप्रूवमेंट। सो एक्सेप्ट एवरी फीडबैक from the bottom of heart and try to improvise yourself on the basis of the feedback received from the real people. Don't fight with the stage fright, work with it. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स मैंने देखा है कि स्टूडेंट को बोलते हैं हम कि प्रेजेंटेशन दे दो, सामने जब आते हैं तो एक कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल बहुत डाउन रहता है, स्टूडेंट को फियर रहता है कि ये प्रेजेंटेशन में दे पाऊंगा कि नहीं दे पाऊंगा। बट यू हैव टू वर्क विथ इट एंड फॉर दैट प्रैक्टिस इज द ओनली सॉल्यूशन। अराइव अर्ली। अगर कोई इंटरव्यू का टाइम आपको दिया गया है तो you have to be on time. I would like to showcase one example in here. One of my client, Kawasaki India, they invited few candidates for an interview at 9 a.m. because the interviewer was a foreigner person. The candidate reached there at 9:15, 15 minutes late. Believe me, the interviewer, the foreigner person, has not allowed this candidate for an interview because they got late. So arrive early is a very important part of your इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन। शिफ्ट योर फोकस फ्रॉम फियर। आपको डर से आगे निकलना है, आपका फोकस कॉन्फिडेंस पे रहना चाहिए। इफ योर कॉन्फिडेंस इनफ, अगर आपको लगता है कि मैं ये इंटरव्यू क्रैक करने ही वाला हूं, सो दैट कॉन्फिडेंस विल बूस्ट योर एंड गिव यू मोटिवेशन। एंड डेफिनेटली आपको अगर 10 क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते, उसमें से 6 भी क्वेश्चन आपको आते, बट इफ यू आर अ वेल कॉन्फिडेंट पर्सन, इफ यू आर अ गुड कम्युनिकेटर, इफ यू आर इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेटर, the company people will definitely select you and they will see you as an asset of that organization. There are various tricks and treats. If you are standing in front of the audience of 100 people and there is a podium along with you, so rest your shaky hands on the podium. Most of the times ऐसा होता है, directly, intentionally or unintentionally, the people touch the nose, mouth, clothes, hair and neighbors. So don't touch your nose, mouth, clothes, hair, and it shows that you are less confident about your content and your speech delivery. Make eye contact with someone in the audience. Eye contact is most important. You need to believe in your content, and if you are interacting with the audience, you need to make a proper eye contact. उससे क्या होता है कि जो ऑडियंस है उनको एक इंटरेस्ट डेवलप होता है आपके कंटेंट में, और आपको वो सुनना चाहते हैं, वो सुनते हैं आपको ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ व्हाट यू आर डिलीवरिंग टू देम एंड योर प्रॉपर आई कॉन्टैक्ट। एक और भी तरीका है कि कीप ए ग्लास ऑफ वाटर नियर बाय टू कीप ड्राई माउथ। Sip of water can buy you some time if you have lost your train of thought. अगर कुछ भूल भी जाते हो, अगर बाजू में आपके ग्लास ऑफ वाटर रहेगा, तो टेक दैट ग्लास ऑफ वाटर, टेक अ सिप ऑफ वाटर, उससे थोड़ा आपको टाइम मिलता है एंड यू कैन कैच योर ट्रेन अगेन। क्रिएट नोट्स दैट हाईलाइट योर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स। आपको नोट्स प्रिपेयर करना है जो आपके की पॉइंट्स रहते हैं। पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन, व्हाट इट मींस? इट मींस पावर पॉइंट्स। सो यू हैव टू हाईलाइट योर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स, मेक these words large and easy to read, so you only have to glance down briefly. Speak more slowly than you normally would. मेरे साथ भी ऐसा कभी होता है कि if I delivering presentation तो आवाज बढ़ जाती है, और जो रेगुलर वॉइस रहता है उससे ज्यादा स्पीड में बात की जाती है। But you have to work on this. Speak more slowly than you normally would. It might feel strange to you, but your audience will perceive it as calm confidence. Stand up straight and smile. It's almost over. You need to stand up very straight at the time of delivering presentation and always keep smiling. Have smile on your face. If you smile, if you have smile on your face, it gives positive notification to the audience and they will generate interest and you will grab the attention of the audience by smiling face. You know that the verbal and non-verbal communication are the two important types of communication. Here are some tips for verbal communication. Know your subject. अगर आप बैंक में जाते हो तो KYC रहता है, know your customer. In the same way, if you know your subject properly, I'm sure that you will deliver that subject very properly to the audience. Train your body. You have to use the body parts, the gesture and posture in a positive manner so that your confidence will look at your body. Avoid a rambling opening. बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है कि tell me something about yourself, जब क्वेश्चन स्टूडेंट्स को पूछा जाता है, they are not able to give the answer of this question. वो ओपनिंग ठीक से नहीं हो पाता। Believe me, first impression is the last impression. If you are a fresher, if your introduction gone well, The 50% of the work is or the battle is owned there only. Have a clear structure. आप क्या बोलना चाहते हो, आपका स्लाइड का फ्लो कैसा है और आप क्या डिलीवर करना चाहते हो, उसका एक स्ट्रक्चर आपको डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा. Be empathetic to everyone. This is also the good tips for verbal communication. Next is make simple sentences. Keep it simple. आप जितना सिंपल रखोगे उतना ऑडियंस के लिए अच्छा रहेगा कि आप क्या बोल रहे हो, वो मैसेज क्लियरली आप ऑडियंस को पहुंचा सकते हो. और इवन द ऑडियंस विल रिसीव द प्रॉपर मैसेज इफ यू कीप द सेंटेंसेस वेरी सिंपल. डील विथ योर एंजाइटी. गिव योर परफॉर्मेंस. आपको आपका टॉप परफॉर्मेंस देना है हर एक प्रेजेंटेशन में, हर एक इंटरव्यू में, सो दैट द चांसेस ऑफ सिलेक्शन इन दैट इंटरव्यू विल बिकम मोर. Engage the audience. This is the most important part, to engage the audience. Most of the times क्या होता है कि आप अगर पब्लिक स्पीकिंग के लिए खड़े हो या इंटरव्यू में आप बैठे हो और आपको अगर इंटरव्यूअर का अगर ध्यान नहीं ग्रैब कर पा रहे हो, आप उनको एंगेज नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तो योर सिलेक्शन इज बिट अ बिग प्रॉब्लम. Have a good closing. At the end of your presentation, have a good closing by asking the questions, by giving the answers, and if the audience asks the question, give them proper answers. So this is some tips for the verbal communication. Next, there are some secrets of delivering the good presentation, attending a quality interview, or giving your best at the time of public speaking. Get the listener laughing. Most of the times क्या होता है कि थोड़ा लिसनर बोर हो जाते हैं. आपको टाइम दिया जाता है 30 मिनट्स का, और 30 मिनट्स में 15 मिनट तो आपके ऊपर ध्यान रहता है, फिर बाद में दे आर स्टार्ट लूजिंग द attention. So at the time, give some example of your own, show your emotions and make them laugh. So this is a secret to attain a very proper attention of all the listeners and the audience. Be expressive with your emotions. Ask few questions. Don't afraid to ask the questions and don't have fear in mind you to give the answers. Be prepared if you make a mistake. अगर कोई गलती होती है तो boss, it's okay because nobody is perfect on this earth. अगर गलती होती है तो accept your mistake and try to overcome that mistake in the next presentation and next interview. Have passion. आपको passion बहुत जरूरी है. Passion about your selection in the interview, passion about the public speaking, and if you would like to become an effective communicator, have passion of public speaking. Here comes non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is your body gestures and postures. Open your chest and arms and keep your back straight. Effectively make eye contact with the audience. आपको ऑडियंस के साथ आई कांटेक्ट बनाना बहुत जरूरी होता है. Hands and arms का यूज आप कैसे कर रहे हो, what gestures you are using at the time of presentation, at the time of interview is most important. Move around audience. If you get chance to move around audience, it is a very good sign of your confidence. So try to move around the audience, ask them, interact with them, and have a dialogue. Monologue नहीं होना चाहिए, dialogue होना चाहिए. So it will be an interesting session for the audience. Smiling, nodding, and mirroring. So these are some important tips for the non-verbal communication. Now here comes social etiquettes. These are very important because most of the times when the students are facing the interviews, they are not using the social etiquettes, and because of that they are not getting selected in the company. ऐसा भी होता है, स्टूडेंट को लगता है कि यार मैंने सब आंसर्स तो बराबर दिए पर मेरा सिलेक्शन क्यों नहीं हुआ, बिकॉज यू मिस आउट विद द सोशल एटिकेट्स. डोंट मेक एक्सक्यूजेस. इंटरव्यू में एक्सक्यूज मत दो. एलिवेटर, अगर स्टेयर से जा रहे हो, एलिवेटर से जा रहे हो, तो यूज प्रॉपर एलिवेटर्स एंड स्टेयर्स. जो इन्वेंटरी और चेयर आप बैठ रहे हो तो उसका प्रॉपर यूज होना चाहिए. डोंट आंसर कॉल व्हेन इन अ कॉन्वर्सेशन. आप अगर इंटरव्यूअर के सामने बैठे हो, इफ यू हैव एनी कॉल देन डोंट आंसर दैट कॉल. डोंट इंडल्ज इन गॉसिप. अगर इंटरव्यूअर कुछ डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं तो डोंट मेक योरसेल्फ इन्वॉल्व इन दैट गॉसिप. बी स्ट्रिक्ट टू योर टॉपिक एंड योर कंटेंट. So these are some social etiquettes, followed by don't take random selfies, chew with your mouth closed, cover your face where you're yawning, sneezing. आपको फेस कवर करना है अगर आप yawning कर रहे हो, sneezing कर रहे हो तो. And most important is use people names. अगर आप किसी का नाम जानते हो तो आपको वो नाम पब्लिकली लेना है ऑडियंस में. अगर if you can relate or know few name of the people, use people name so that आपको जो कनेक्ट ना बहुत अच्छा डेवलप होता है, and the people feel that this is the right person for this content and he is delivering a very interesting session. So use people names. Open door for everyone. So this is also a good gesture considering the social etiquettes. Proper handshake. Handshake is basically the agreement between the two parties. उसमें क्या होता है, आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल चेक होता है. इफ यू गिव द गुड हैंडशेक, इट मीन्स दैट यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट इनफ फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर पोजिशन ऑन विच यू आर गोइंग फॉर एन इंटरव्यू. से प्लीज एंड थैंक यू. दीज आर वेरी सिंपल वर्ड्स इन इंग्लिश. आप ये दोनों शब्द अगर अच्छी तरह से यूज करते हो, अच्छी जगह पे यूज करते हो, तो बहुत अच्छा सोशल एटिकेट आप फॉलो कर रहे हो. जैसे प्लीज एंड थैंक यू, ऑलवेज से प्लीज एंड थैंक यू. इफ यू कैनॉट से समथिंग नाइस अबाउट समवन और समथिंग, डू नॉट से एनीथिंग एट ऑल. अगर आप किसी के बारे में अच्छा नहीं बोल सकते हो तो उसके बारे में बुरा बोलने का आपको अधिकार नहीं है. दिस कम्स अंडर सोशल एटिकेट्स. डोंट इंटरप्ट. अगर कोई कॉन्वर्जेशन चल रहा है तो उसको इंटरप्ट मत करो. इवन इफ यू आर वेरी बिजी, इफ यू हैव सम कॉल, से एक्सक्यूज मी, but don't interrupt the conversation. It is a negative sign of social etiquette. Be kind to everyone. Speak assertively. Speak positively with everybody. Respect people time. अगर आपको प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए 10 मिनट दिए गए, तो ट्राई टू वाइंड अप योर प्रेजेंटेशन इन दैट 10 to 15 minutes, not more than that. Respect people thoughts. It is always important to respect the people thoughts. It is a favorite saying that give respect and take respect. If you give respect to the audience will give respect to you as well. So respect people thoughts. बहुत टाइम क्या होता है कि अगर आप कोई प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हो, आपका जो कलीग रहता है, जो क्लासमेट और बैचमेट रहता है, वो अगर कोई क्वेश्चन पूछता है, तो क्वेश्चन में आपको लगता है कि दिस इज अ रिलेवेंट क्वेश्चन, but still you have to give the answer justification in a proper manner. Don't laugh at the audience who is asking the question. उसको ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए कि उसने गलती कर दी क्वेश्चन पूछ के. Be polite. Always be polite while giving answer to the audience, because audience is the people, those who are sitting in front of you and they are listening to you patiently. So be polite to the audience. Communicate clearly. आपका जो कम्युनिकेशन हो प्रॉपर होना चाहिए, क्लियर होना चाहिए, so that the audience will assert you and they will take the proper content from your presentation. Set goals and activity. Do some activities along with the audience. It gives the positive impression of your content and your presentation delivery, and they will engage more into your presentation and your content delivery. For students, always have mission and vision. Mission is short term, vision is long term. Have ready your mission and vision statement. Mission statement and vision statement are playing important part in your career development. If you are very clear about your mission and vision, you definitely work towards it. So have your mission and vision statement ready while appearing for the interview or while appearing for any public speaking event. Few of the strategies for effective communication are, as I said, first impression is the last impression. Many times it happens that the candidate is appearing for the interview, and if the candidate look is not in a proper way, it looks shabby. So the interviewer never entertained that candidate for the selection. The corporate is looking for a candidate who is good in personality, good in communication skills, and good in presentation. Believe me, interview is not a selection process nowadays, it's a rejection process. Because of the huge competition in the market, interview became rejection process because of the demand supply. अगर कोई कंपनी में 5 ओपनिंग है और वहां पे 500 एप्लीकेशंस आ रहे हैं, तो कंपनी को मैक्सिमम रिजेक्शन करना है, सिलेक्शन सिर्फ 5 ही लोगों का करना है. सो व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट क्राइटेरिया फॉर रिजेक्टिंग एन एम्प्लॉय? सो द वेरी फर्स्ट क्राइटेरिया जो फॉलो किया जाता है वो एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट रहता है. यू नीड टू बी वेरी क्लियर एंड साउंड एट द टाइम ऑफ योर एप्टीट्यूड अपीयरिंग. Then second रहता है group discussion, then personal interviews. I will take this assignment in the next slide. So this is the first strategy, that your first impression will be the last impression. You have to impress the audience, you have to impress the interviewer in such a way that he or she will carry your impression throughout the session. Know your audience. आप अगर कोई टॉपिक पे अगर प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हो, आप अगर कोई टॉपिक पे डिस्कशन कर रहे हो, आप अगर कोई इंटरव्यू अपीयर कर रहे हो, तो आपको ऑडियंस कौन है ये पता करना बहुत जरूरी है. शो रिस्पेक्ट टू द ऑडियंस. एक्टिव लिसनिंग. इफ यू आर ए इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेटर, लिसनिंग इज द एबिलिटी. यू हैव टू बी ए गुड लिसनर. अगर आप बोलना अच्छा चाहते हो तो सुनना भी अच्छा चाहिए आपको. और बी एक्टिव लिसनर. Stay focused, always stay focused on your point that you are discussing among the audience and you are delivering the presentation to them. Encourage open communication. आपको लोगों को इन्वॉल्व करना है आपकी डिस्कशन में. आप अगर कोई टॉपिक कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हो, इफ यू वुड लाइक टू बी एन इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेटर, एनकरेज ओपन कम्युनिकेशन. क्वेश्चन पूछो, आंसर दे दो. आंसर अगर आपको लगता है कि उसके ऊपर कोई क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, तो ऑलवेज वेलकम द क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम द ऑडियंस. use visuals, ज्यादा से ज्यादा ऑडियो विजुअल्स पे फोकस करो. Audio visuals will give more impression towards the audience. Accept feedback. बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है कि because of some issues related to the attitude, the effective communicator is a person who is always accepting the feedback from the audience, even it is a good or bad. मैंने जैसे आपको बोला है, if the audience give you the good feedback, it means you are at the right direction and it will give you the motivation for the next speech. And if the feedback is not good, it's a bad feedback, then that bad feedback will give you the scope for improvement. Handle criticism. This is also important part. You need to handle criticism in a way that you will grab the attention of the audience. Here comes the important part for the student, those who are sooner or later going to face the interviews, the corporate interviews. Presentations. Presentation is the most important part, because PowerPoint presentation, individual presentations, group presentations are the way to express yourself, to show your knowledge. अगर मेरा डोमेन नॉलेज बहुत अच्छा है, मेरा सब्जेक्ट नॉलेज बहुत अच्छा है, मेरा जनरल अवेयरनेस बहुत अच्छा है, but if I'm not able to express my knowledge to the interviewer or to the audience, then I'm failed. So presentation skills are so much important nowadays to enter in a corporate world, to get success in the corporate world. Group discussion. Group discussion is a discussion where the interviewer or the company people look at the particular candidate in terms of knowledge delivery, in terms of how he and she is behaving in the group, because they want the team player. They don't want the person who will work in isolation. So group discussion is basically focus on your presentation skills, your communication skills, your knowledge about the topic, and how you behave in a team. Personal interview. Most important thing, majority of the times the shortlisting of the basis of personal interviews only. So the very first question asked in the personal interview is, tell me something about yourself. If you are not able to give the answer properly, you will fail in that interview. So practice more and more about this answer. If you are able to give a proper introduction of yourself, then the interviewer will think that, yeah, this is the right candidate, he can be asset of our organization because he is introducing well to us, then he definitely will introduce our company product to the customer in a proper manner. Many times it happens that the interviewer asks the question, where don't you see yourself after 5 years? The students or the candidates are not able to give the answers. So be prepared with your long-term and short-term goals. As I said, you have to be prepared with your vision and mission statement. So these are some FAQs, frequently asked questions, which are asked by the interviewer. You need to prepare more and more, practice more and more to deliver the good interview performance at the time of interview. The corporates are looking for the blend of knowledge and communication skills. Believe me, if you are having good communication skills, but if you're having lack of knowledge, you'll not get selected in the corporate. But if you are having blend of knowledge and communication skills, you'll definitely select in a company for an interview. And after interview performance, the company will see you as an asset for that organization. So this is all about this webinar to be an effective communication. I have discussed many strategies to be effective communicator. And believe me, effective communication is not a cup of tea for everyone. But if you try to be an effective communicator, practice, and practice is only the success mantra. Any question from the audience? If anybody would like to ask the question, your questions are most welcome. So I got message from Mayuri Gawane that teamwork and team management. Okay, I asked the question like, what skills do you need for getting selected in the corporate world? Is teamwork and team management. Very good. Ajay has messaged that good communication. So these are the skill sets which corporates are looking in the students or the candidate while selecting for the positions which are offered by the organization. So thank you very much. I would like to thank all the students, all the attendees, all the participants for the patient hearing. And I hope the message is passed on to very well. The strategies of effective communication, I'm available in the admin block. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact me even in person. Thank you very much.
Amit sir, there is one question in the chat box.
Okay. Sir, situation-based question, how to handle? Okay, so there are many times it happens that the interviewer is asking the situation-based questions. Like जैसे आपने 3 Idiots movie देखा होगा, उसमें बोला था कि ये पेन मुझे सेल करके दिखाओ. So these are some situation based questions. So in this case you need to handle these questions very properly, because the answer that you are giving for the situation based questions is very tricky, and the person interviewer is sitting in front of you, they would like to hear the very good answer from you. Most of the time it happens that मैंने एक इंटरव्यू अटेंड किया था, वहां पे एक क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था कि एक बैड सिचुएशन है, जैसे मैं आपको एग्रीकल्चर के रिलेटेड अभी बता रहा हूं कि फार्मर को अगर एक एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूस बेचा गया है, सीड प्रोडक्ट, और वो सीड का जर्मिनेशन नहीं हुआ, तो हाउ एज अ मार्केटिंग मैनेजर, हाउ द सेल्स एग्जीक्यूटिव, or how a brand ambassador of the company, you will handle this situation. So definitely you need to handle that situation in a proper manner, considering you will not lose out that customer for the situation. Okay, thank you very much. Any more questions? Okay, good feedback, very useful session, good examples. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And thank you. I'm using the laptop of my very good friend Dr. Narendra Bandabe, so I thank him. I thank the management for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to speak in this webinar, and I declare that this webinar is closed. Please exit one by one. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day.